The second run coverage here on day one from Kranjska Gora in Slovenia. I'm Alan March. I'm joining you all the way through this World Cup series from the commentary box, and we had some fantastic action here in the first run in day one in Slovenia, and we're hoping for some more great performances this afternoon. We're scheduled to start in just around about 3 or 4 minutes time. You're looking on, he's looking on, and so are the rest of us. Warmed up a little bit from this morning, around about 3 degrees here this morning. I say this afternoon, as it was this morning, around about -1. So it has warmed up a little, but not enough to stand still and do nothing out there at the bottom of the mountain. The PyeongChang course is some 1,141 metres above sea level, and a finish altitude of 836, so a drop of 305 metres through 39 gates. First run gave us the least amount of DNFs the World Cup has had so far. So whilst the athletes were saying that the course itself is quite hard in terms of the ground, the snow feels rather compact, but it's actually caused the least difficulty in terms of completing a run. Some of the athletes going maybe a little slower than they would have liked to have done to take that precaution. We'll start with the women's visually impaired category. The visually impaired athletes will be first out of the gate. And if you want to follow any of our exclusive content away from the highlights, then @Alpine is what you need. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat, you'll find highlights, interviews and much more. Youngsters and other spectators gathering here to watch on as our current and future Paralympic athletes get themselves ready at the top of the mountain. Kranjska Gora existed as a settlement since the late 14th century, becoming an Alpine resort. Situated in the upper Sava Valley of the Julian Alps. And there's actually a big sports centre here in Kranjska Gora, which means that athletes can train all year round, indoors and outdoors. That's a very popular destination away from the snow as well. It's Rene Di Silvestro was on the left of your shot a moment ago. One of the sit skiers who gave us a very exciting competition this morning. There's the carnage that is the bottom of the run. All the athletes gathering and watching on, waiting for their turn to compete. The men's sitting the last of the action, so they are the ones that with the longer wait. We won't wait too much longer for our first athlete of this afternoon. We're about 30 seconds away before we meet Korea's Yang Jae-rim and Koon So-ri, the team who will start first. Melissa Perrine, by the way, if you're watching, expecting to have seen Melissa, she took a tumble in the warm-up session, didn't quite feel right, so didn't compete in this morning's heat, or this morning's first run, should I say, and she decided that she wasn't feeling it, so only 2 athletes in the women's VI section. Away they go. The 28-year-old from Seoul, as mentioned, didn't compete in Kutai, but she joined us in Zagreb, and here she is in Kranjska Gora as well. Yang and Ko coming it with 1:21.38, some way off the pace, but there's nothing to be ashamed about when that pace is set by Henrietta Farkasova, who's just been superb in this World Cup so far. Yang spent 10 months on the sidelines after injuring a right shin bone, actually a fracture, back in 2016. The World Cup event in Televisio, some 35-45 minutes up the road from here, just across the very nearby Italian border. Yang with no real difficulties. It may not be pace that might threaten a full field, but Yang coming through. 2:38.50 is her finishing time. So for Farkasova and Subatova, these two are quick. Farkasova is a B3 classified skier, so her level of vision would be slightly higher than Yang, so the clock ticks at around 90% of its normal speed for somebody like Farkasova. Those times manipulated to level out the playing field, and Farkasova though so much quicker down the course. 2:14.71. The speedy Slovak does it again. So Henrietta and Natalia will find themselves in position number 1 after this VI event. It's another giant slalom victory. That's 3 from 3 so far for Henrietta Farkasova. And the giant slalom is looking very much hers when it comes to the World Cup points. You have to fancy she's going to be somewhere in the running when it comes to the overall standings as well. Next up, the women's standing event. Some youngsters at both ends of this one. Mel Pemble making a World Cup debut in Zagreb, continues it here. Varvara Voronchikina also making a World Cup debut, just 15, and she's smashing it up. 1:05.69. Marie Bochet hasn't lost an event yet, and she's got work to do if she's to catch Voronchikina in this. Ilma Kazazic will be the first standing female out of the start gate. We'll wait to see how the 19-year-old from Sarajevo fares. First ever female skier for Bosnia and Herzegovina at a Paralympic Winter Games. It's just a little wide. She hasn't, in theory, missed the gate yet, but I'm not sure if she's going to try either. She's just struggling to get to a vertical at present. She has cerebral palsy, does Ilma, so varying areas of her body will not be strong enough there to have managed to get her to that vertical position, so she's just manoeuvred her way to the side of the course, so it means we lose our first athlete of the second run. There weren't that many going out here in the first run. Kazazic, who didn't fare so well in Kutsai at the giant slalom either, 2 DNFs there. Has the same result this time out. Did a lot better at the slalom events. Really worked hard at just making sure she could get to the bottom. The athletes watching on and waiting on. Mel Pemble from Canada, just 17. Another whose impairment is cerebral palsy. Young lady from Victoria, British Columbia. Nicknamed Melly. Started her World Cup experiences in Zagreb not too badly. Did all right in the first slalom run, but the second event the following day ended extremely early for Mel. Out in the first run, pretty high up the course as well. National coach Jean-Sébastien Labrie. He was actually part of the flag procession ahead of the games in 2015. The Canada Winter Games. She's also competed at paracycling as well. She's still 17, so maybe finding her niche. She can register 2 decent times here. And team selectors will have more talent on their hands for Canada. Coming towards the line then. 2:46.99. So that's first time of the event registered. Pemble comes down. Anastasia Kahorasheva. (1:19.83) for the neutral para athlete in the first run. (21-year-old). An LW9 athlete. 9 skiers. Athletes in this class have an impairment that affects their arms and legs. Gives coordination problems, or maybe lack of control over one side of their body. So that's what an LW9 classified athlete means, as opposed to Ursula Marimon, who is in the L2 or LW2 classification. She's well inside Kahorasheva's time as well. So a significant impairment in one leg. An LW2 skier will only use one ski. Marimon allowing passion to boil out as she crashed out in Zagreb, beating the piste after crashing out. But here, no such drama. 2.5 seconds quicker than Kahorasheva so far. Anna Jochimsen, also LW2 classified athlete in this standing event. Again, you see the factor times built in to cover each athlete's impairment. To try and level the playing field out. She's nearly a second quicker so far, Jochimsen. The 32-year-old just getting on the wobble a moment ago. 2:37.73 to beat. She should be well inside that. 2:36 possibly. It's inside that as well. 2:35.73. 2 seconds exactly quicker. Melania Corradini, bib number 7. Jochumsson's time then 2:35.73. Can the 30-year-old Italian get inside that? The flag bearer at the opening ceremony of the 2006 Paralympic Winter Games in Turin. Medals from 2010 in the Super G. Comes across the line, and she's outside of Jochumsson's time. There's a bit of discomfort you can see for Corradini. Just went to feel her left shoulder as soon as she came across the line, so maybe some pains on the left side during the run. Maria Papulova representing the neutral para-athletes. Just the use of the ski pole in the left hand for Papulova. 35 years old now from Chusovoi. Looking at 2:35. She's going to be well inside that. So we'll have a new leader for now. Some 5 and a bit seconds. 5.40 quicker than Anna Jochumsson. Smarzova coming up next then. 27-year-old from Zilina. Debuted back in 2002. She's had some decent slalom results. Giant Slaloms haven't quite matched that. A 6th and a 5th. She's well inside Papulova. You can see really throwing herself into these gates. So Smarzova, 2:30.33 to beat. It's going to be inside that. How much inside it? 3.06 seconds. Leopard print neck warmer. And she was pretty fast to match that. Now here is the World Cup leader, not just in the giant slalom but in everything. She hasn't lost a single race yet. She finds herself quite a way back from Varvara Voronchikina. But Marie Bochet gives us one thing, and that is speed. 7.9 seconds quicker at the split. How much more can she add to that during this bottom section, of which she's already in? 6 gates to go. Bochet, World Cup leader. Real talent crossing the line. 2:18.39. She stretched that lead to 8.88 seconds. Has the ever-impressive French lady done enough to take another event title? So away goes Varvara Voronchikina. Just 15. Looked impressive in the final, or the first 2 days of Zagreb. And she's inside, 2.65 seconds. She does have a lead. She has the gap from this morning as well. This is very impressive from Voronchikina. Oh, she's well inside. 2:15.19. It's victory for our neutral para-athlete. And Marie Bochet's 6 event-winning running streak comes to an end emphatically. Great stuff from Varvara and Voronchikina. Very, very quick. And Boucher now has a challenge. Oh, that was superb. The youngster from Bykalsk lives pretty much near an Alpine skiing resort, and she's obviously utilised that in her younger years. Women's sitting event coming up. We only lost one of our sit skiers this morning from the women's event. That was Barbara van Bergen. This is Victoria Pendergast. I once played computer game football against Victoria Pendergast and got absolutely battered. So don't play her at a computer game football simulation because you will lose. Now, she hasn't completed that many runs on the World Cup circuit yet. I spoke to one of the coaches about her attitude towards it all. It's all about the speed. She's throwing herself down courses, and that's the ethos. So Pendergast really having to dig in at that corner. And we'll see how Tori gets on for the rest of the run. Goes for it every single time. The 26-year-old from Sydney, now living on the Central Coast. It is Pendergast who will set the benchmark time with only 3 more to come. You've every chance of being on the podium should somebody else make a mistake here. Works in marketing away from skiing events. Qualified for Sochi, came 10th in the Giant Slalom in Russia. A big slide from Tori this time out. You can see her really throwing herself into it. She's got it back up here. And is still within the gate. So, again, a little bit more control. She's off the beaten track. That's what the all this bouncing around is through that section there. Not being able to follow the run that she probably would have wanted. But 2:40.94. She gets to the bottom. Next up is Stephanie Victor. I mentioned the artwork on the helmet a little bit earlier on. 2 bulls clashing heads. Victor, who has been a wonderful spokesperson for this sport. Medalled at various big events, including the 2006 and 2010 Paralympic Winter Games. Gold medals on both of those occasions. She's inside Victoria Pendergast's time, so she will finish on the podium here in Slovenia. And Pendergast might as well, because this is Linda van Impellen, who I think is out. She looked like she was still going through the gates to me, but we'll wait and see. At the top there is Claudia Loesch. I can't see Impellen coming over the brow of the last hill. So I'm not sure whether she's still going through gates or just coming down the side. We'll take a look at what happened to Linda. getting wide there. Just taking a little bump and then just unable to throw a body weight back to the right. And it would appear that she's out. So Van Impelen is gone. Pendergast will be on the podium. And it's now down to the very experienced Claudia Loesch. There you can see Linda Van Impelen, one of her Dutch team. Oh, Stephanie Victor. There's that hat. Or the helmet, should I say? I knew I was going to say hat. That's because her husband said, don't call it a hat. So I won't call it a hat. And yet she's pointing out, as I mentioned, the specially made helmet for her from Swiss artist André Marty. So, nice piece of artwork on the old protective helmet. The Eringa cows they are, found in Marcel Groenen's hometown. There you go. With a bit of knowledge about the helmet. I can tell you that should Claudia Loesch not complete the run, which she thought was pretty tough this morning, mentioned to our reporter Stephen Jameson off air, should she not complete the run, Stephanie Victor will indeed be the victor. So Loesch it is to add some more points, won both of the giant slaloms in Kutai. Well, she will, but she doesn't have to, but she will push herself all the way down here. But she can certainly use the gap that she had this morning to take victory with a steady run, but that's not in Claudia Loesch's makeup. 2:38.21 is the time she needs to be inside. Here comes the split time, of which she's looking to be roughly 10 seconds clear of. Should she go through it? 9.45. Loesch maneuvering neatly. No real dramas in this run from Loesch. And that 2:38.21, very achievable by the great Austrian and the 29-year-old into the final two gates. It's going to be Loesch for a third time in succession in the women's sitting giant slalom competitions. And there's a smile. And, well, she goes and greets Stephanie Victor. But it's Loesch, Victor and Pendergast that will have the podium positions. Unlucky for Linda Van Impelen, dropping out a quarter of the way down the course. But it is Claudia Loesch that takes this on day one here in Kranjska Gora. Okay, let's go over to Stephen Jameson. He's going to interview Claudia Loesch.
I'm with Claudia now. Claudia, how was that for you this afternoon?
Yeah, it was still difficult. I mean, it was a bit better than the first one, especially the upper part. But that lower part, it's still bumpy like hell. And I'm just glad I finished. And yeah, my performance, especially given the tough circumstances, I think was okay.
Now, when we spoke to you in Zagreb, you mentioned how the course was challenging there. Obviously, this course presents its own different challenges. This must be really good preparation for the Paralympics when you think about the variety of different courses and challenges that you're having to face.
Yeah, I mean, I sure hope that the conditions at the Paralympics will be better because, well, in terms of promoting our sport, it would be lovely to have a nicer slope because then we obviously look better. But yeah, you're right. But preparing for the Paralympics, I mean, anything can happen there. It can snow, it can rain, whatever. So yeah, we'll see.
And does this fill you with a bit more confidence heading in tomorrow? Same slope, same challenge?
Yeah, definitely. Now I know that it's okay to ski, and tomorrow I can attack a little more.
We look forward to seeing it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Alan.
Well, she's going to attack it even more. She's already won. Who knows what we might see from Claudia Loesch tomorrow then, if she wasn't attacking it fully today. There you go. Joining us tomorrow for more great action here at the World Cup in Kranjska Gora. Now, this is Hwang Ming-yu as we move into the men's section of our event here in Slovenia. This is the first of our men's vision-impaired athletes. Hwang 1:18.82 in the first run. Some 3 seconds or so slower than the next person above him, so Hwang has a lot of work to do as he moves towards PyeongChang and goes through these World Cup events. Certainly out of breath. That's his 2 runs done, so he's got a result on the board at least. Now Damir Mizrak and Luka Debeljak. You might be able to catch the sound of the guides talking to their skiers. Those microphones in the helmet. Luka and Damir work closely throughout the course of the year to practice the runs as these guides and skiers do, and well, Damir maintains that level of lead over Hwang. 3.6 seconds clear. Next out will be Patrick Jensen and Lara Falk. Jensen was finished at a time of 1:13.79 from his first run. 21-year-old from Newcastle, New South Wales. And I can actually hear there, that was Patrick saying faster. So he's pushing Lara on. Feeling confident out there. Patrick, a B2 classified athlete in this VI competition. You can see he's exceptionally close to Lara. And they'll took him for the finish as Lara goes across, and 7.33 seconds quicker than Damir Mizrak. He was only just over 2 seconds from the first run, so impressive from Patrick Jensen. And again, as I said, shouting faster, obviously feeling confident. Now Sean Pianta, also from Australia. Sean is guided by Jeremy O'Sullivan. Slightly quicker, just 0.02 though, considering that he was nearly a second quicker than Jensen earlier. Oh, and that's not going to matter. Pianta hits the deck, and they'll assess whether he's off the course. He looks like he's done for the day. Unlucky for Sean Pianta. Take another look at this. Just there. Not quite sure if it loses his ski or not. No, he's got them both on. He's just come unstuck at that corner. So this is not Sean Pianta. This is Patrick Hetmer. Yeah. Easy, recognisable Czech Republic athlete. Hetmer guided by Miroslav Machala. Miroslav having to slow through this section. That's where we just lost Sean Pianta. Edinburgh through in 3.12 seconds quicker than Patrick Jensen, which is around about the same sort of lead he had from this morning. So those two running at about the same pace this afternoon. Ivan Frantsev, as a sister that competes in the women's VI events as well. Hasn't competed in Zagreb or here in Kranjska Gora. She was in the tie with Ivan. Ivan's guide is taking him through the line. 5:19 quicker. There's Perevoshchikov. That was the guide. The NPA athlete leads for now. A little bumpy here for Maciej Krezel. His guide is Anna Ogozinska, and she's quite far in front. Again, each guide and athlete pairing has a different approach to it. Clearly, Anna and Maciej not worried about the closeness to each other. France's time confirmed is 2:17.96. This is Krezel coming to the line. Krezel finishing his run. It is bumpy out there, as Claudia Loesch was saying, so the athletes are really feeling it. Just waiting for Krezel's time to be confirmed. This is Gurno Morgenfurt. '52-year-old, soon to be 53. Slower through this opening section. Coming towards the foot of this run, it's going to be tight, but Morgenfurt takes to the front, 0.96. He has the lead. Away goes our next set of athletes. This is Valery Verkoshubov and Yevgeny Giroyev. Again, both of those representing the neutral para-athletes. That's time still the fastest over the opening split, 1:48.30, but it's Gurno Morgenfurt who has the lead. With Koshubov heading down then into the final two gates. 2:17 exactly. Oh, it's just there, 0.16. Koshubov is the leader. Took a victory in the slalom due to some disqualifications in Zagreb. Jon Santacana Mestegui, Spaniard, third fastest or fourth fastest from the morning, 1:06.35. He and his guide Miguel Garces down on that time from Frantsev, but we're not taking too much into that. They're into the bottom section, the final downward section, and it's just about staying as quick as you can but navigating these gates. He's got 4 more of them to do. 2:16.84 for Jon Santacana Mestegui. He's inside, 2:15.70, 1:14 quicker than Verkoshubov so far. Miroslav Hraeus having some problems. You can see him here having to work his way back to full speed, and he's slipping again. He is quick through courses, is Hraeus, but it does cause a few issues. And Hraeus and Maros Hudik, his guide, might struggle now. And he's down again. Hraeus just at the top of your shot, drifting off to the side, and he has gone. So Jon Santacana Mestegui will finish in the top 3. Seems to be in a spot of pain, Hraeus, but nothing too serious, and you can see the World Cup leader going into this. And he's took a tumble just there, leaning too far forward, and he just couldn't get back up and into the turn for the right hand. So this is Jakub Krakow now. They're all chasing the time of Santacana Mestegui. 2:15.70 altogether. Krakow with Branislav Brosman, his guide. And down they come. Instructions from Brosman. He's going to bring Krakow in very neatly. The Slovakian 1-2-3 has gone, but they're still on for a top 2 because Jakub Krakow is well inside the time set by Santacana Mestegui. This was the first run leader. This is Marek Kubacka. And again, one of our B1 athletes. So if you're just tuning in for the first time and seeing an athlete with a vision impairment ski, this guy here has completely blacked out goggles. So his guide, Maria Zatovikova, working exceptionally hard to make sure that Marek is on the right path at all times. This, the final flat section before they start the drop down to the finish. And the speed really does pick up. He's inside Krakow's time. He was this morning 1:01.96, nearly a second quicker than Krakow, who finished at a 1:02.71. And now Marek Kubacka wants 2:07.56 as they come into the drop. Kubacka with 3 gates to go. The 27-year-old crossing the line. 2.04 seconds quicker than his compatriot. And it's Kubacka from Krakow. Jon Santacana Mestegui in third. And that mistake from Miroslav Hraeus, meaning that Slovakia have to settle for 1 and 2. And we're so close to a 1-2-3. The final few athletes, just 2 non-finishers in this one. Sean Pianta and Miroslav Hraeus. Handshakes at the bottom. Morgan Furt and Ivan Frantsev, Kozhubov, all down the bottom there, but no one was stopping the eventual winner. And well done to Marek Kubacka and Maria Zatovikova from Slovakia taking the victory. Then standing event next. We'll start with Thomas Grocha. We'll run down to bib number 47, which is Theo Rimmer. We'll have a few standing athletes still to come after that. But on their first run, shouldn't affect the standing. So down to Theo. Alexei Bogaev will be just in front of him. Thomas Field, Arthur Bauchet, Thomas Waldschmidt, Gorley, Alexander Alyabayev, James Stanton, Santari Kivari. Some very quick standing skiers in this opening section. Should give us a very exciting finish to day one in the standing events. Rocha is away. The 24-year-old went 1:07.74 this morning, just taking a few bumps that he had to deal with a moment ago. Gets really low, similar to a sidecar passenger, if you like. Really low in that position, using those outriggers to give him some assistance. And one of our single leg skiers really getting low on his right side for some of these turns, getting into the gate. Rocha from Klagenfurt. Getting through unscathed so far. Big football fan. Left leg amputee from birth. Tenth place at the World Championships in Tarvisio in the Giant Slalom, and he comes through to finish 2:15.39. Martin France. Slovakian. To use ski poles to his impairment. So again, talked about earlier, the physical strength in the lower half that really impresses you about Martin France. And the 33-year-old comes in inside Rocha's time by 0.33. Puff of the cheeks and a wave to the crowd. Suggests that was hard work. Martin Wirtz, one of the winners over the slalom event in Zagreb. 24-year-old. Lives in Misau. Customs officer. And he's not skiing. Left hand amputated at the age of 13 from an accident with a firework. And, that is the result that Martin would have wanted. He's inside Martin France's time. Those two Martin on together. Jordan Brossan now. Four-year-old, originally from Annecy. Studied a master's degree in business administration at Grenoble. Brossan looking to master a time quicker than Martin Wirtz. He's not going to manage it. 2:15.38. So Brossan drops down behind Martin Wirtz. Wirtz stays where he is. This is Marcus Salke. And 6-year-old overall World Cup winner, 16-17 season. Another from Klagenfurt. In the skin, it's a great place to grow up. This is Eric de Gruber, coach. Has a good group to work with. Up to the flag bearer for Austria, the closing ceremony in Sochi. Tucks in, final few gates then. Salke crosses, he's in front. 0.49 the difference, so the winner's board is occupied by an Austrian, and it will continue to be occupied by an Austrian, and it might continue to be after this run. Niko Pijancic, he's up next. Pijancic with the use of a ski pole in the left hand, the 20-year-old. He'll actually be 21 by the time we'll get to PyeongChang. His birthday's very early in March. We've seen Globasnitz. Needs to get inside 2:14. He's going to do that with ease. Oh, he hasn't. Well, he looked a lot quicker through that bottom section than I gave him credit for. Well, Pijancic there, for me, looked nailed on to take the lead, but fails to do so. Santeri Kiveri. 17-year-old, one with that nerve damage in his right shoulder, so he doesn't have full range of movement. You notice he tucks it underneath the bib. And races just the ability with the left hand, so balance all done with the body strength. And Kiveri looking at 2:14.12. This time we will have a new leader. 2:12.71, 1.41 seconds the difference. Santeri Kiveri goes to the front. 7 more before we get to Theo Riemer. Blue skies now, right at the top. Struggling to come through the clouds all day. James Stanton. '23-year-old. Inspired by the slalom events of the 2010 Paralympic Winter Games in Vancouver. He thought to himself, I want a bit of that. Actually broke his left ankle in the World Cup finals in Aspen a couple of years back. Crossing the line here, he's in front, 2:12.36, that's all he can ask. A show of appreciation with the right hand just after he finished. So Jamie Stanton has the lead for now. This is Alexander Alyabayev. Another of our skiers, only use of a pole in one hand. The left hand for Alyabayev. 28-year-old looking to chase down on Jamie Stanton. Wasn't much between the two of them after the first run. Working hard. 2:12.36. It's going to be tight. It's not going to be for Alexander Alyabayev. He's some 77 100ths outside. into Gorley. Australia throwing himself into it here and sometimes causing problems. 104.69. 4 more before Gimir after Gorley. So this will have to be good from Gorley to put pressure on the ones that follow. And the Australian team captain nearly getting it all wrong with 3 to go, but he's got across in 2:11.92. The gamble was enough to take some time off the current leader, and he's, well, yeah, it's maybe not Mitch Gorley. Here's our World Cup leader so far. This is Thomas Walsh. So Gorley leads. Can Thomas Walsh, a 22-year-old, take it from him? To 11.92, 4 to come. That was where Gorley got it sidewards, and Walsh capitalises, 0.63. The World Cup leader continues to keep putting in good performances. He was second on both occasions in Qatar. I'm not sure he's going to get that, not with Boucher, Field, Bugayev and Gimir to come. But he keeps picking up the points on the left. Boucher, world champion. Just battling with the bumps, with the course. You know, you won't find many of these athletes saying they don't like the course very often, but it is hard. I would love to have a little bit of a softer snow under their ski, but it's not the case, and they're dealing with what's in front of them. And Boucher will take the lead. Good performance, 2:09.86. Well, he was only 0.3 quicker than Thomas Walsh after the morning run, so that's an impressive run from Boucher. Now, Thomas Field. Can he get close to Boucher's time? 105.75 was the run. "31-year-old. Celebrated that 31st birthday during the break. Field looking at 2:09.86. It's going to be tight. It's going to be slower. 0.49. 2:10.35, and Thomas Field sort of throws the pole in his left hand down in disappointment. So Thomas Field might miss the podium places here. Boucher will not. Just 2 that can stop him then. Bugayev. (2:09.86). That's what Boucher has put down. Bugayev has been brilliant at times during this World Cup so far. Again, just the use of a pole in the right hand. Got it caught up a little in the gate. Took his arm in nearly enough. A little wide like Gorley, but it's going to be good. 2:08.22. Theo Gimir is going to have to come up with something quick there. That's brilliant from Bugayev again. Well, Boucher knows he's got to move on. It's the quickest run so far and that's what gives him the lead. Second quickest this morning, quickest this afternoon, 2:08.22. Theo Rimmer. Has he got a second World Cup victory in him? He said he fancied it. He was enjoying the challenge on these giant slaloms with Bugaev. Has he got 2:08.22? Started with a slight advantage from the morning. Oh, he's gone wide like Gorley and Bugaev, and that might be the part that costs him. Oh, it does. 2:08.44. And the third to last gate. We might get a look at that in a little while. But that is heartbreak for Theo Rimmer. He was so quick down most of this course. Right near the end, he gets so wide. And, well, Theo on the floor as we continue with the runs. We might try, at the end of the standing event, might try and take a look back. It's the third from last gate. It's exactly where Gorley went wide. Bugaev didn't go quite as wide, but he also threw himself into it as well. And Theo Rimmer was just off balance as he came into it and found himself going too wide to get back quick enough and lost out by 0.22. This is Thomas Mulder coming to the end of his run. Around about the 2:19, 2:18 maybe. No, 2:17.88. Well done for Thomas Mulder. 9:66. The difference between him and Bugaev. And there you see Bugaev and Theo Rimmer so close. Bugaev must be looking on and noticing that Theo had the same problems that he had at that corner. And it's not surprising. You're trying to come in to those home gates as quick as possible. It is steep in that last section. Michael Brugge. 35-year-old. Came up with a 1:08.59 earlier. He's going to be 2:18.54 as a total time. Jonty O'Callaghan next. Jonty didn't finish either day in Kutai. Can he get a placing in the afternoon sunshine? It's trying to creep through here in Kranjska Gora. Certainly a tough course for any of the skiers. If you're one of the developing skiers, Jonty has competed at the World Championship, but it's his first World Cup series, so he's travelling around getting experience at some of the bigger events. And as Stephen was talking to Claudia Loesch about earlier, maybe some conditions that you're not used to. 2:19.25 it is for Jonty O'Callaghan, and it is certainly a tough old course here in Kranjska Gora. Another of our neutral para-athletes is Alexei Merkushin. Merkushin's time from the morning, 1:09.53. Nineteen years of age from Yelezovo. Into the final sections then comes Merkushin. 10.97 seconds the difference. Julian Ernst next. 34-year-old, another making his debut on the World Cup circuit this year. Another left leg amputee after a motorcycle accident. Actually responding to an emergency call whilst he was a motorcycle paramedic. He crosses the line in 2:21.86, 13.64 seconds back. It'll be Davide Bendotti next, another of our single leg skiers. A 3-year-old. Been competing for a couple of years now. Was in Treviso. Actually failed to finish in the Giant Slalom there. Couple of 17th place finishes in other areas for Davide. He's actually swam at national level in Italy as well. Here's the section where some of the quicker guys have thrown themselves into, and maybe a little braver, a little wiser as they go through their careers. 2:23.73. Jeffrey Stut, bronze medal winner in the World Championships in both the downhill and the Super G. Expect more from Jeffrey as the World Cup series continues. Certainly in Teen and Canada itself. Slide out. There we go. Stut. 1:11.02 earlier. The finish by clipping the gate at the bottom. Fencing. But Stut coming across, picking up his time. Andreas Kurs. Kurs, the penultimate athlete to go. 1:12.01 in the morning. The 31-year-old will cross the line in a combined time of 2:26.68. Final athlete for the men's standing then, Hilmar Orvarsson, once he has completed his run. Officially announced Alexei Bugayev as the winner. Orvarsson. Time of 1:14.58 this morning, but Hilmar, he'll have completely different goals to the top echelons of this sport. It's all about learning. Just 17. His club is Vikingur in Reykjavik, and Orvarsson crosses 21 seconds behind. So that is the end of the standing. Bugayev victorious again, 2:08.22, but you have to feel for Theo Rimmer, this is going to be another exciting one tomorrow. If it wasn't for a mistake late on, Rimmer would have been quicker. So too would Mitchell Gorley, but to be fair, Bugayev also slipped up a little on the course too. So we'll find out tomorrow if those results change, but Bugayev on day one is the standing victor here in the Giant Slalom. Some of the athletes just taking on some refreshments and packing their equipment away for the day. We have still got one more event to come, so don't go anywhere. Men's sitting event gets underway very, very shortly. Simon Valner will start us off. Jesper Pedersen goes with bib 68. And we finish with 4 more after him, but those 4 having times well outside. Now let's take a look back at the action a couple of moments ago. We talked about Bugayev and Guimard. Bugayev is number 39. He is the winner. And it's the bit at the end that he struggled with, and he wasn't on his own. It was himself and Gorley, and then of course Theo Rimmer was the one that dramatically seemed to struggle the most. But this is the man that won. Bugayev, indeed, the quickest of the men's standing athletes. This is him going down to victory just a few moments ago. Simon Valner gets us underway in the standing event. And Valner coming on at a time of 1:11.03 first off. We'll have to go much quicker to have any effect on the standings, but trying to climb up and gain more World Cup points is the challenge. Valner first out of the gates this afternoon. 30-year-old. Valdez near Innsbruck. Daughter Elena into the final drop down. A keen hand cyclist and basketball and swimmer. And comes towards the line. Valner finishes in 2:22.94. Now Mark Sawyer. At 1:10.89 a little earlier. And into the final section he comes then. Chasing 2:22. He's going to be just outside of that. 23.32 for Mark Sawyer from Australia. A little wave into the spectator area at the bottom. Next up then, Hang Sang-min. The 38-year-old from Seoul. As you mentioned earlier in the programme, we had that injury in Zagreb to Lee Chi-won. Try and get an update on that for you. Problem with his right shoulder, and he was leaving the Zagreb mountain to go and get a scan, so hopefully not too much long-term damage. Han Sang-min will go in front of Simon Volda, 3.25 seconds quicker to be exact. Dino Sokolovic, who is always capable of a quick run, has enjoyed the slalom events more than the giant slalom events so far. Luka Dweljak, his coach, is watching on from the bottom. As Sokolovic comes in to view for the spectators at the bottom then. Into the final section. Not one to hold anything back. Sokolovic, real character on and off the mountain. He's going to be just behind 0.003. So Sokolovic finding it going a little tough here in the giant slalom again. Now, Jeroen Kampstra is gone. Well, he's bounced up and the ski has left the bottom of the mono ski, and that'll be him for the day. And he will not be happy with that. So, Jeroen Kampstra. Bounced into the air and off came the ski. And Kampstra is gone. Next up should be Johan Taboulet, and Johan, part of that exciting competition in Zagreb. You see, just getting sideways here, and as he pops back up, takes an almighty divot, and it just flexes the ski to the point that it has to come off. And Jeroen, well, just not sure. Yeah. World Championship gold medal winner. Looking somewhat perplexed at the side of the course. Taboulet. 26-year-old throwing his mono ski into big corner slides. You see the snow being grooved out from the course, and some of these mono skis are big fellas across the shoulders. And they use that strength to throw these mono skis around, using the outriggers as small assists here and there, but majoritively it comes down to the singular ski at the bottom and the skill of the person in control. Taboulet 107.48 from the morning. Chasing 2:19.69. He should be quick enough. Taboulet. Into the bottom section he comes. He's got 10 seconds to get to the bottom. He's got plenty of time. And he is going to set the new quickest time of the second round. 2:15.97 is now the time to beat from Johan Taboulet. Wave from Johan and Frédéric Francois, who won the second slalom event in Zagreb, his first ever World Cup victory at the age of 40. He actually had exactly the same time as Taboulet a little bit earlier on. They both came in 1:07.48. So, having had the same time as his compatriot, can he now oust him from position number 1? He's having to shovel himself forward a bit there. He slowed himself down too much through the flatter section. Mentioned earlier, all the monoskis will vary. You can see here that Francois has 2 skis on the bottom. They move in a pivot motion, depending on which side he leans to. So, very clever piece of equipment, but yeah, he just got himself virtually stationary at one point, and that means that Taboulet continues to lead. So Francois can't affect from here. Josh Elliott next. 1:06.40. His time in his first run from the US Marine. Competed at the last couple of World Championships. He's got World Cup final medals. He slides over, and he's 2.5 seconds nearly in front. 2.39 for Josh Elliott. Big shout of all right from an American at the bottom of the hill. And wow, there's Johan Taboulet. What can you do? Oh, and an early mistake here. An early mistake here for Christoph Kunz, coming straight out of the gate, and he's gone. Well, that was innocuous. So Igor Sikorsky up next. Oh, and Sikorsky has slid out as well. Sikorsky finding the going tough here in his second run. Just take a look. He gets real light and then doesn't get any relent, does he? He just about nailed the landing for the first one when another bump comes up. So Sikorsky feeling the full effects of a tough course and finding himself out of sight and out on the side. So good news for only one man, that's Josh Elliott. There's only 5 left here, which should really impact podium positions. Oh, and again another that struggles with the early bump in the course. That's one to be mindful of. Roman Rabel is an experienced campaigner, already won Winter Paralympics under his belt. And Rabel looking to put in a good time. 1:05.46. Just short of a second quicker than Elliott, so that's the slender advantage he has going into the run. Multiple World Championship medals. And pretty close to being the World Cup winner on numerous occasions as well. So the 26-year-old, oh, and a big slide for him as well. Into the final pitch of the course then. This drop down is where you need that speed to get across this line. And he's the leader. 2:12.96, just 0.62, so he lost some of his advantage on Elliott during the course, but not all of it. There's the Langen. Rabel with a lead now. The Dutch have two very good mono skiers, and Jeroen Kampscher is having a bit of a struggle in the World Cup so far. Niels de Langen is looking to put that right this time around. De Langen was a DNF and then a 7th place finisher in Kutai. He's going to miss out on this 2:12 as well. Rabel's time now appears to be much more impressive. De Langen with a couple of errors during the run, and that doesn't change the podium with 3 to go. He's a man that will challenge any cause, any other sit skier, and he will defy you if you say you can't do this or that. He will try anything. Walker pushing himself. Can he get near Rabel's time? 2014 overall World Cup winner. 2:12 should be achievable from here. It's going to be 2:11. Oh, just short of that as well. 2:10.93. Gauntlet thrown. Tyler Walker with a big performance. See the grimace on his face, the effort that went into it. Now, René Di Silvestro finding it bumpy and getting very sideways there. Very well to control it. Di Silvestro, a 3rd place finish in the 2nd of the Giant Slaloms in Kutai. Oh, and the 21-year-old slides out. Well, he didn't finish the first competition in Kutai, and he's emulated that here on day 1 in Kranjska Gora as well. Walker will finish no lower than 2nd. Rabel will finish no lower than 3rd. Jesper Pedersen can he come up with the goods? Won both the Giant Slaloms in Austria, or has Walker set an unachievable time? We'll find out. The 18-year-old. The youngster from Bergen. Fluent in 4 different languages is Jesper Pedersen. Can he be fluent in his acceptance speech, or will he have to settle for listening to what Tyler Walker has to say? Into the drop comes Pedersen. He's got a matter of seconds left on the clock. This is going to be real tight. Oh, he takes it. 0.19. Just under 0.2 of a second the difference. And there's that big smile we're getting used to from the youngster. Well, he said his ambitions as winning medals at the 2022 Paralympic Winter Games. I think he's got to fast forward that. I genuinely think this young man has to think about what he says when he wins a medal in PyeongChang, because it's really doable. Ratterhofer's out already. He was the next to go. And Ratterhofer is on the course. Went 1:11.94 this morning, Ratterhofer. And there's just trying to turn into his right side. And he's still within the gate, so quite easily continue. that's Gratahofer gone. So Alex Cairns up next. Alex Cairns, 25 years old, competed at the 2015 World Championships, got a 16th place finish in the Giant Slalom there. A couple of visits, couple of finishes, should I say, in the World Cup final of 2016. Works at the Whistler Blackcomb Ski Resort in British Columbia. Another athlete's born with spina bifida. Cairns manoeuvring his way down. Looking to maybe better the time on 13:17 this morning. Just coming through the final flat stage before entering the drop down. He's just coming into sight for the people at the bottom of the mountain now. And into the final couple of gates comes Alex Cairns, 2:27.99 for the Canadian. There is the leader that well, should be the winner as well. 2:10.74. This is Jurne Slivnik. 16.99. We'll hear from Jesper Pedersen a little bit later on in the programme, so do stick around. So Jurne Slivnik, just 17, learning all about the World Cup circuit, and I'm sure he'll be trying to learn from his fellow competitors as well. Quickest lines, the areas where to be brave and areas where to take chances. And Jeremy will cross the line in 2:42.19. And the Slovenians around the venue putting their hands together for Jurne Slivnik. And that leaves us with Danilo Rossi from Italy. And unfortunately, Danilo Rossi looks like he might be leaving us a little bit early. That is him gathering himself together. Is he still within the course? Will he continue? Not looking like he's in an urgent rush to do so. So that appears to be the end of the actual action, because Danilo Rossi appears to be out. So Jesper Pedersen does indeed take the title. And we can indeed see the wood for the trees here in Kranjska Gora. It was quick from Roman Rabel. It really set the benchmark for the last few. Elliott and Walker were either side of him, and Walker was beaten by a fraction. Jesper Pedersen, the 18-year-old from Norway, wins another sitting men's giant slalom. Let's go and hear from him. He's with Stephen Jameson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alan. Very happy Jesper Pedersen with me. How did that feel? First one was good, second one you're on top of the podium. How's it feel?
It's always amazing to be on top of the podium, but the second run was really bumpy, so it was like struggle for survival.
Yeah, we noticed that. We saw a few of our skiers, go right up in the air. How difficult is that to manage?
You just have to stay right in where the other ones have been skiing. So if you're kind of out of the main track, there you have some serious problems.
And you mentioned to me earlier that you wanted to be back on top after a bit of a bumpy ride in Zagreb. Does this feel now you're back to your best?
Of course, I have to work in every race and stuff, but it's nice to be on top of the podium again.
And in terms of looking ahead to the rest of the World Cup and of course to PyeongChang, do you feel you're in good shape?
Yeah, I've been training a lot in summer and autumn, and yeah, so I'm ready.
Good to hear. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Back to you, Alan.
It's a scary thought for everybody else. He is ready. As I say, you know, a little while ago he put down that he would be happy with something from 2022. I think he needs to fast forward that ambition quite a lot. Vavra Voronchikina was a big surprise in the women's standing division, and Marie Brochet finally doesn't win an event here in the World Cup. She got 6 in a row. 7 was just a little bit too unobtainable. Well done to Kranjska for picking up the victory. Just 16. The vision-impaired skiers Henrietta Farkasova beating Yang Jae Rim. Farkasova now has won all 3 of the Giant Slalom events. Claudia Loesch has also won all 3 of the Giant Slalom events, this time in the women's sitting competition. The great Stephanie Victor is up on the podium with Tori Pendergast as well. Disappointment for Linda van Impelen, losing out on those potential World Cup points. The men's VI competition was good as well, wasn't it? Jakub Krako and Marek Kubatka got the top 2 places for Slovakia. Miroslav Hareos crashed out, which meant that Spain's Jon Santacana Mestegui took 3rd instead of Valery Rekoshupov, who's been putting in some good performances as of late. Sean Pianta was the other DNF in that competition. What a race this was. Mistakes aplenty towards the end, probably attributed to the course and the bumpiness of it, as you heard from Jesper Pedersen. But it was Alexei Bugaev who managed his 2nd run best. Theo Rimeur was just 0.22 of a second behind after Barchet had to settle for 3rd in front of Phil, Walsh and Gawley. And if you thought 0.22 was close, the men's sitting event that we've just seen was even closer. Jesper Pedersen just about edging out the rest of the field. Tyler Walker will feel like he gave absolutely everything to stop the young Norwegian. He and Roman Rabel are just behind. Let's take a look back at Pedersen's winning performance here in Kranjska Gora on day 1. Well, he might be just 18, but this is a 3rd straight Giant Slalom victory for the boy from Bergen, who must now surely believe that there is every opportunity and every potential that he could be coming away from PyeongChang with, I think, more than 1 gold medal around his neck. He's certainly shown us in the early stages of this World Cup. He's got confidence, he's got charisma, he's got the speed to match anybody else, but he does have some serious competition in that sit ski class. So people like Tyler Walker, you've got Dino Sokolovic, Jeroen Kampscheur hasn't found any form yet he is the world champion. Josh Elliott, Sikorsky, a lot of good names pushing for places and prizes in this World Cup circuit. The road to PyeongChang, it might still be a fairly long one from this point, but we are motoring head-on towards the Paralympic Winter Games. Jesper Pedersen is victorious once again. So too is Loesch. So too is Farkasova. But we're starting to get some surprises now in the World Cups. But this man didn't let us down one bit, did he? Thank you very much for joining us on day 1 in Kranjska Gora for the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup. From myself, Alan Mark.